everybody. Welcome to Minute to Skim It on the glorious EXP, otherwise known as the Experience / it has a super long name that's too boring to say out loud. Comic Book Shopping Network. Sorry, Experience. So, oh my goodness. We got a cool amount of books to actually read. I don't know why there's a snake on the board today. Ignore it.
I said so.
Okay. Jenna said so. We're going to review awesome books for you that are coming out this week to your local comic shop. And we're a little bit tall. There you go. There's some books down there. So let's get going. So you know all the things. I read one too many Marvel books, so if I have to look on the inside to remember what I read, just know it's because they all bleed together because, you know, it's a big, rich universe, and they do that on purpose. So, again, welcome to the XP.
Hi.
This is Captain America Annual #1, also known as Infinite Destinies. This has been kind of running through some titles and also has this little mini story that's been running through the same stories, same titles that say Infinite Destinies, includes Infinite Fury. So don't miss the second story that's in these. In this book, we have a character that has been previously incarcerated, and it shows them in prison having, we'll just say, a glowy green meteorite, because that's what it is, blasting through the top of his prison cell and giving him powers, which allow him to move through time, although it makes him appear like he's disappearing and reappearing other places, which will, if you can move really quickly through time, that's what it looks like, right? And he, because his power is based on an Infinity Stone, believes that he needs to find all the rest of the people that were imbued with Infinity Stones, because that's what Warlock did. Adam Warlock, he tied the Infinity Stones to people, so to try to keep them from being gathered together and being powerful again. So this, I believe, is probably going to be like his desire to find all the rest of the people of his kind. I don't know if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. He really desperately believes he can go back in time and stop the thing that he did so that he can rectify that and then kind of like be a good guy. So in Captain America, who's the other character primarily in this book, isn't really sure he should believe him. Makes sense because this guy, you know, killed a shopkeeper and his wife. So really great read. Totally get into that book. I like this character, and I don't know, I'm pretty steeped in Marvel stuff, but I don't know if I've ever seen this character before, so I can't tell you whether it's the first appearance or no. I know.
Milestone Returns #1, Static, Season 1. The #0 came out last week, and I didn't get to read last week, so I missed that one. But pretty much everything that happened in the #1 is recapped through some flashbacks and throughout the dialogue and narration. So basically there was an event and people gained powers based off from this gas, and it's mostly like high school aged teens that got these powers. And of course, when there's already some people with powers, because it's in a superhero universe already, having a bunch of people getting these powers that don't necessarily know what to do with them, it can cause a little bit more chaos than usual chaos. And Virgil is Static, and his in the issue 0, his bully has gotten powers. And so,
oh man,
right?
Why do teenagers always get the powers? Why can't it be us grown-ups? Like, I
Well,
would love to see like lightning happens from like Misfits.
just
and then
based
Miss Jen
off
gets
of
powers.
right, just based off of what's happening in this issue, we just see, because he's a teen, we're just seeing the teens. I'm sure that some of the teachers may have gotten powers too, because it was like, you know,
it is actually much more interesting for teenagers to get them because they're so kind of awkward already.
it's true.
It's like, why not throw this other thing on top of all their awkwardness?
Right. And then they have to try to keep the secret.
Mm-hmm.
Teenagers aren't good at secrets.
Kind of feel like if I got superpowers right now, you know, like I've got grown children and I've got a good head on my shoulders, it would be kind of like a lame storyline. And she went on to do good.
Well, and I feel like teenagers think they're really good at keeping secrets, but they're really, I'm not. I wasn't. But there's a lot that goes on that's going on in this book, along with all of the superhero stuff. Like we see his home life, and his dad has taken over the cooking for the week, and he does not like his dad's cooking, for instance.
Mm-hmm.
So
I can see that.
Yeah, right?
Hey, Pinot!
It's super good.
And Hardy?
I'm super excited though, because I really liked Static when I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad they're bringing him back finally.
Oh yeah.
So.
Hey, by the way, we'd really love for our audience to grow because we like everyone to know about the comic books that are coming out this next week. So, I mean, for example, if you've got a local comic shop and they don't know about us and you think they could use the knowledge that we drop on Tuesday nights to help out their staff on Wednesday mornings, share with them or share with your friends or your collectibles group. Mm-hmm. We'd love to
sprinkle that around.
Yeah. Love the feedback. Mm-hmm. If we're, too crazy for everybody, possible. Peach Momoko, Demon Days Mariko. So Demon Days had a different one, Demon Days X-Men, that came out last month, I think. Peach usually does just cover art, or sometimes she does interior art and the cover. In this case, also writing, so you get to see that extra level of skill that Peach has. Both books, in this case, have been very steeped in Japanese lore, and this is definitely so. So it definitely has Oni and other spirit-based beings because they have a very spiritual culture. And this one's really great. It deals basically with, this is not just a single shot like the last one was. This one is actually ongoing. Leaves it with a very big kind of like cliffhanger. And it deals with Mariko, who her mom is, and this character is one of the main characters, and it is Widow. So, but none of them are in their traditional roles. So if you're looking for it to tie to something in the X-Men universe, it's not at all. Imagine a giant what if that was based in all Japanese cool culture. That's what it's like.
I love that.
And it's
love
beautiful
art too. Yeah. Raise your hand if you had to read The Great Gatsby in school. I had to write a paper on it, and I worked so hard on it, and I got a C. So kind of turned me off to the book. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to read the graphic novel adaptation because maybe that'll help figure. I'm very visual, so.
Well, and possibly if you're not forced to read it and you're doing it for joy,
right?
Maybe it means a different part in your heart,
right? And the art in this book, it's you can't really tell based off of just off the cover, but it's very it's like a more modern art style, but it has exactly the 20s feel, which is fantastic because, I mean, it's set in the 20s. And it is pretty much what I remember word for word. And with the 2013 movie that came out with Leonardo DiCaprio, This is better.
Is better?
Yeah.
Are you saying
yeah.
something about Leo?
No, Leo did great in that movie. But a lot of the like the set design
Mm-hmm.
was not quite as 20s as you think of whenever you think
Well,
the
they did.
1920s.
I think they did with that. It was the same
I know.
people that did Romeo and Juliet. That kind of like
Right.
brought it to a different kind
Right.
of era.
Trying to
So.
bring it to
Right.
a new
They
generation.
yes,
Mhm.
By the
exactly.
way, I love the remake of Romeo and Juliet.
I did
Like,
too.
I loved it.
It's one of my favorite things in all the
I
world.
also loved that movie, but I also loved the 20s fashion and all that. So this
Mhm.
this gives me more of that 20s fashion that I was craving. So
By the
I
way,
can't wait to see where it goes for when they do the actual party scenes with
Mhm.
Gatsby. 'Cause-
Oh.
His house design I have in my head, and I want to see how they interpret it. So
if you guys are hankering for a good era-based film that will bring pure joy to your hearts, you should watch Oscar. Sly Stallone and a billion other people that you recognize instantly, set in Depression era gangster land, and it is very much a comedy, like twist tale.
I love how she was like, it's a comedy.
You're gonna laugh out loud. I don't really know that it was like slated as a comedy, but you're gonna definitely laugh out loud. And if you've never watched it before, watch it with friends. It's so much fun.
Kind of reminds me of Peaky Blinders. It wasn't meant to be funny. The way they played some of it.
I don't know why I'm opening up. It's so stinking thick, this book.
It's a thick
Worth all the monies. This is the end of Kate's run on writing Venom. It is issue number 35, but it is this 200th issue overall of Venom. So they made a big deal out of this. So it's a big square bound premium cut book. Picks up right where the last one left off. All you really need to know to join here is that there was a giant war of the symbiotes. The King in Black came, tried to take over. That's Null. Tried to take over. He lost to Eddie Brock, who now controls. He is the king of the symbiotes and controls all of them with his mind, except for the symbiote who used to be on him, the other half of Venom. Is now a completely independent entity, which probably makes him one of the most powerful things outside of Eddie. And this is a slice of life. Starts with Dylan, because they're trying very much to have Dylan have a normal life, because Dylan lost his symbiote, which was a Carnage symbiote, made him a very dangerous being. So it's him trying to get along in the world with a very absent father, because his father is always completely connected into the symbiotes that he is controlling all over the universe. So godlike power, hard to concentrate on little things like making dinner. There is some major stuff that happens at the end of this, but the whole journey is really amazing. Don't miss picking up this book. You will also be happy to know that the next series that starts will be done by a group of writers, one of which is Ram V, for fans that like his work on Catwoman and Swamp Thing over at DC and These Savage Shores at Vault.
I just have to
I'm
say
so
that's my favorite line you've ever uttered in my life, Miss Jen.
Which
Slice of life, Venom.
Mm-hmm. If there could be such a thing.
Whoa, there it is.
Can we go again?
No, I just want to say, like,
Oh.
I love that they have the Legacy 200 on it, so that way
Mhm.
people know
Oh,
that
yeah.
it's the 200th issue overall. I love when they do that with
Absolutely.
the big issues like that. Compass, the Cauldron of Eternal Life. From Image.
Sorry, just
And-
remembering that those have
okay.
to go there.
So I picked this one up, and I missed seeing this one in any previews for it, and I go
I
through those. I don't know how.
remember. I mean, I didn't remember ordering it. I
Yeah.
know I did. I must have liked the
Right.
pitch then.
Right,
It's one
and
of those moments where like you look away and you forget it. Like
maybe
the silence of Doctor Who. It's
just
the
too much-
silence.
Too much time between ordering and
right.
receiving, I guess.
This one has caliphate.
That's right.
Like, okay. So it takes place in the Middle East.
Okay.
And at least like a Middle Eastern type of setting. And our main character here is a Muslim woman who is well educated, which even I think it takes place around the Crusades.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a normal thing. I had to kind of do some research, and because I was like, I remember learning this in history class, but I don't think we learned much past that.
Maybe.
It's you see her, and you see her in the opening part of it, just to set up the scene. She is breaking into a tower to get a ring, and the caliphate is no longer protected, and so that pretty much sets up exactly where she is pretty much set up to fail. Just to set up the book, I don't want to say too much else about it, just because there are so many intricate details, but I loved it and I can't wait to read more. And the art style is just like that on the front, and I love it.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Well, it's subtitles The Cauldron of Eternal Life. I like that.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all the pitch we needed.
There's also information at the back of the book of where the creative team, drew their resources for being very historically accurate, while still making up this world as their own. So I love books like yes.
All right, Heroes Reborn number 7.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some more forward movement in the storyline, but you should know that the tie-in this week, Weapon X and Final Flight. Trying to think what's the best order to do. Actually, probably the tie-in is better to do first, because it'll help make it a little more rich, the kind of what's at stake for the Heroes Reborn. We're getting closer and closer to them having the real world, or whatever world is in the background that actually has the Avengers in it, revealed, and the person or persons that are behind the kind of like the overwriting of that history, with all of these other characters like Sentry and this is just like Dr. Spectrum, just all these crazy characters that you maybe know a little bit about if you're really deep into the lore of the Marvel Universe, but you've never seen them as main characters before, and they've been forced into that part of the world. There are mentions of a bunch of different deaths in this issue, just because they're kind of like going back through things that have happened in between the last issue and this. So some of those brand new characters that they just introduced are therefore believed dead. This is probably the one you need the most. This one actually features the death of one of the more important characters that was brought into the storyline and through from the main universe, prominently displayed on this front cover here. So if you like to see people die very interestingly, that is the way to go. I hope that what's revealed on the last page in the Heroes Reborn number 7 doesn't just get kind of like what if out of existence, because it would be a really boss thing. I can't really say any more than thing.
All right, from Scout, Claire and the Dragons, number 1. So So this is Claire. And she has been pretty much her whole childhood so far has been told about the dragons and that somebody's going to be the champion of, fighting these dragons.
Mhm.
And she, as she's gotten older and as she finds herself in this issue, her grandfather believes that it's her.
Oh, nice.
But she's not. She doesn't. It's not something she wants. It's not something that she ever thought she would have to do. And so there's a lot of, not like direct conflict, but like she's like fighting. She's fighting the. She's trying to fight the her destiny, essentially. There's a lot of setup in this issue, but I don't believe that this one is a binge, right? Binge is the one where they do the trade right after?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, this one's not going to be a binge.
Or nonstop.
Nonstop, that's it.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be one of these. This isn't going to be one of those, so it'll be monthly issues. So I'm excited. As much as I love getting the trades, I love the drawing out of the series. So
Nice.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Sometimes you think there's going to be a book out there that's not really tied to necessarily, you haven't necessarily believed is going to be tying to the bigger part of the universe. You're thinking, that'd be a good throwaway book. This is not the one. This is a planet-size X-Men. It's a super important book to everything that's been going on in the Hickman stuff. So recently, they've had more than just the one land mass that's called Krakoa.
Mm-hmm.
They have another one. And I'm going to forget its name. It's Araka or something. And that they've tied this into the Hellfire Gala.
Mm-hmm.
Some portion of the mutants are all hanging out there. I don't know what they're doing there because they don't say what's going on specifically there. They're only talking about the other stuff that is going on. So I don't know if it's a distraction or what, but they appear to decide to terraform with, pick out the mutants that work for the job, right? Just like they always do. Terraform Mars and transplant that island there. So I want you to wrap your mind around what that means for what Mars is. So the way it all happens is amazing. Don't miss reading all the ifs and whats and they have like those long pages of information.
Mm-hmm.
They even have stuff from the Jet Propulsion Lab. We have JPL say something about something cool. Don't miss that one. If you're reading any of the X titles, you'll definitely need it.
Save Yourself, #1 from Boombox. All right. So I'm just gonna pretty much say what the pitch for this book was, because I already added it before the book even came out to my pull box because I was super excited based off of the pitch. Basically, 3 humanoid beings came to Earth and supposedly stopped this invasion of other beings. And so now they're movie stars and there's video games based off of them, and they're pretty much heroes, but they've also become like icons.
Ah.
So they're famous and stuff. But how much can you really believe about a group of aliens essentially who have come to Earth if you just believe everything that they say, right?
We can never know what their motivation is.
Exactly. And that's what this issue is kind of like set up to question what their motive might or might not, what their motive is or why they're saving Earth.
Unless the aliens wear fedoras, and they're always believable then.
Well, considering that they're
Always.
famous, they probably don't wear fedoras.
I don't know. Okay, shoot, fire. This is a really boss ash can from Scout Black Caravan called Rad Wraith. How to explain this without wrecking the giant fun at the very last page of this little short ash can. It appears to be about a young man who is a skateboarder who gets caught in, the older kids skateboarders area.
Oh no.
And they're like, you have to ride this half pipe in the cemetery if you're going to stay in our space. And then I can't even prepare you for what's going to be in these pages. And I'm not going to wreck the joy of the discovery of it. I yelled so loudly in the restaurant, and I couldn't stop laughing for like 5 minutes. I'm just going to let you guys enjoy it. I 100% guarantee that you will enjoy it, no matter what genre of whatever you like, as long as you're not really put off by a little bit of blood and guts to further a story.
Go one more time.
One more time. Okay. I can't take your book. You just said that one. All right. Stake number 4, also from Scout Comics. So the main character here is a hunter, kind of in training. But she's young, so she's 19. Mm-hmm. And she has lots of really fun friends. In this one, she ends up at her friend's bar where they, get her into a little debauchery. But what are friends for, I guess. But she basically hunts vampires. And in this case, she's actually trying to find a specific one that did something to someone that she cares about. And she's figured out a way to blackmail an NSA agent. Don't ask me, man.
Magic.
Yes. You'll find out on the very first page what she has on the NSA agent.
Oh my gosh.
Really great art. Really fun. It's totally a pretend world. There's no way.
Yeah.
You don't get drawn into this is totally real.
Well, also
but you don't care.
So
yeah, the vampires. Vampires probably do that. But it's such great telling of a tale.
We both read this one.
I did.
Yeah. Space Pirate. Captain Harlock.
They had me at space.
I almost feel like the way she said it, I'm like sharpening. Hoo-ha-ha. Space Pirate. Hoo-ha-ha. Sorry, I'm good.
So this one gave me the feel of
this is
Japanese
old school cartoon manga is what it's based on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But even the art style still gives very much the manga feel. And
not super cartoony.
No.
Not like base manga, but really good manga.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to?
That's all I'm gonna get.
Okay.
If you like space manga, you probably either have heard of Space Pirate Captain Harlock already, or you haven't. In this case, we'll just say he is a space pirate captain.
Yeah.
He's gonna pirate things.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. In the case, there's some race of beings that also are involved. It looks like they've been lost. I don't know, but
Yeah.
The last page will kind of tell us where they're headed with the story, I think.
Right.
Is it to space?
Absolutely.
The sass is high today, and I had to add to it. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I just love the art on the inside, but the cover. Oh, the cover.
Yeah, I think that's a Derek Chew cover.
It
There's a
is.
bunch. I think there's like 10 covers to that book, so surely you'll find one in
least.
an art style that you like. Is it me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We can put our space pirate.
Yeah.
Captain Harlock's together. All right, Alien number 4, because I got to read Alien every single time. Come on. Remember, sent a corporate / military action to this satellite in space, or space station in space. It's a father. His son is on the station already. It has been taken over, or the science that they were doing escapes, which happens to be aliens, obviously, because Weyland-Yutani likes to do that kind of dumb experimentation where they don't know why they don't believe everyone's going to die every time. And Bishop, the artificial person, is involved. So right now, most everybody on the station has been taken and has been implanted, and has also had the chest bursters come out. But they're still trying to fulfill their mission of actually going and getting a sample and taking it back. The thing that the company has dangled over the main character's head is, I think he's supposed to be in big trouble, like in prison, unless he gets this thing done, like military prison, unless he gets this thing done. And so there's he's got the biggest fear of the unreconciled animosity with his son that he's going to the station with. And that kind of plays itself through. And the super danger of dealing with the alien themselves. It's amazing.
Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow.
Huh?
So if you read the Superwoman or Supergirl, what was it? Kara, the future state.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
The
Floor?
No, that's Yara
No.
Floor.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
That's
You said car, so
yeah, I know. That one took place on the moon. And it felt more like a sci-fi. This one is much more of a fantasy feel than it is a superhero feel. I am not getting. It's definitely not. It does definitely not take place on Earth. It's not on Earth at all.
okay. Is it on Krypton?
No.
Interesting.
So this sword that she's holding is super important, but I'm not going to say anything about it because that'll ruin the thing.
Yeah,
but
no spoilers.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. It was, and the art style is just like this on the front. And it's so good. It feels like a D&D superhero mashup to me, and I love it.
And Hanna would know about D&D. She likes to play it for sure.
Sure.
All right, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, the tie-in to the clone saga that's been happening. In the last issue, number 26, the evil Miles and the two or three other clone versions of him. They have captured him. He's dangling upside down in webs, and he's trying to figure out what they want from him. What is the end game? Because they've been after him, and the main evil Miles has been creating real problems for his personal life, where he kind of shows up where Miles is supposed to be and does the opposite thing that Miles would do. And Miles is trying to draw out of them where they were created and how. And they still haven't gotten very much farther into that storyline. A little bit more is revealed in this book. Enough to make you make Miles feel like he can maybe talk them into, and it feels very genuine on his part that he might be able to help them, because they feel like they have to do what they're doing, I guess. So we're going to get there at some point. Who did it? How? Why? I'm very interested to see what's going on.
Oh man, the clone saga is just.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So one of my favorite classic literature was the Three Musketeers.
Yeah.
So
Are you a D'Artagnan girl?
I just think they're neat.
I would like Porthos myself.
Well, I have trouble choosing a favorite when it comes to but D'Artagnan right here.
Yeah.
Yes. So he's trying to figure out what's going on and why people keep dying.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of fight scenes in this. There's some ooh la la scenes because it's him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that his defining characteristic?
Yeah, and also the fact that he is pretty much just bent on finding out the truth.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Sub is a hopeless romantic.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a hopeless romantic. Let's see what else. I think that's pretty much all I need to say about this one.
It
But
gives you the genre.
The art is so good in this one. Okay. Usagi?
A book you might not have been thinking about reading, but continues to be amazing. This one is Usagi Yojimbo number 20. This is a storyline called Yukichi, who happens to be this other rabbit there. So Usagi's been tasked with taking the swords from a master who has recently passed and to hand it down to their, I don't know what you call the person who studied under them.
Apprentice,
I guess.
I think there's probably a Japanese word for it, but
sure, I know there's got to be a great one.
Yeah.
And in this case, Usagi and this character have had interaction before in the past, but Usagi may not remember as well as the student. As the student missed an opportunity that he feels is like the one thing that marred his training. It's not a really horrible bad thing, but it was one of those things when you look back in retrospect, you could have done a thing and seemed much smarter than you were, more wise. So this one's a really sweet tale. Really, I loved it. Art is amazing as always. And honestly, you could jump in here even if you've never read Usagi at all.
oh, good.
It tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
It's a great samurai, well respected, and you get to see how much.
All right. So DC represent celebrating powerful voices, collecting issues 1 through 7 of the Revolutionary Digital First Series. So you may have already seen these digitally, but here you get to actually see them all together on the page. So each story is by a different team, and on the inside of the cover, it even gives you a little blurb about each of the writers, which I love. And this collection is focusing on people of color, and specifically there's a lot of more recent tragedies like Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And I actually did see one of the stories that was that's in here. I think it's like the third or fourth one. I think the writer actually posted it on Twitter, so you may have seen that one. It's about the Black woman who is going to the doctor because she's getting these lesions and she can't figure out why, and why there's a bit of racial bias when you go to certain doctors, just because of how the world is. It's very eye-opening, and the art styles are all different, and I love every single story in this. I can't wait for them to do more of the digital first on paper.
Yeah, I'm very happy to have these kinds of projects, and I'm very happy to have things like Milestone returning.
Yes.
To Static.
Yes.
I want these voices very much be heard. So
yes. Well, and I love Vita. Vita's great.
Yes. All right. Nottingham, number 4. Ready for more wild ride. At the end of number 3, the sheriff had a great idea about having a tournament with enough prizes to draw in the elements that they want. They're sure that they can bring, if they have the tournament, they can have everybody in the kingdom come, and that remember, he is specifically doing detective work to try to find out who was the murderer from the very beginning. Issue number 1, you may have forgotten there was a murder. He's really only looking for the murderer. He's not doing the whole, I'm hunting Robin Hood, although he brought Robin Hood and his merry band a pain in his butt. It's not the main focus of this book. And comes really very much to a head because the tournament becomes something different than what they're thinking. But I will tell you that the sheriff does learn something during the tournament itself that gives him big insight that he's been waiting for. So I love this smart look at the sheriff, because we're so used to the Disney buffoon sheriff, and this guy's not a buffoon. He's not small enough to be a buffoon, I guess, either. He's a huge brick house of a guy. There's a reason why Nottingham has been selling out every single print every single time, and is one of the fastest selling out books that we put on the rack, period. If you have not signed up for Nottingham with Mad Cave, you absolutely should do that.
Surprised you didn't read this one.
Well, I had one. I really finished up my last book at the exact moment. I could not have picked up another thing.
You'll have to just go back and read it again.
Absolutely.
The many deaths.
So what's our ex-god after doing now?
So.
A retired god or whatever. First retirement.
So this one is The Many Deaths of Lila Starr, number 3.
Mm-hmm.
And she is back again. She's not dead again. She died last time.
She's kind of trying to think, she's who killed Kenny? Kenny always comes back. It's kind of the role she has, where it's not funny at all. Yeah. The funny thing is she is death. She is the goddess of death. She's responsible for killing people, but now they don't need her anymore. She doesn't have that
job anymore because they don't need it. So the cover is very foreshadowing.
If you won't understand it by looking at it before you read the book, but when you're done reading the book and look back on it, you're like, this is so spoilery.
It pretty much just tells there's a party scene in this, and it feels like it's more of a flashback in some of the scenes.
Oh, okay.
And I don't really want to say too much about what goes on in this issue, just because of it's very emotional.
You okay?
Kind of.
You trip over something flat?
There's a lid sticking out from under the table. Half a lid in the corner. Don't need a knee, right? One's fake. I don't need the other one.
Is that gonna leave a mark?
And but we don't see the child that put her out of a job in this issue. I will say that.
Oh, because the last issue she knew where he was / tried to kill him.
Right. And I feel like I'm gonna have to go back and read it.
I just have to say to anybody
Together.
who doesn't see it on camera, I stuck the landing.
It's true.
She did, totally.
Mhm.
She took the pain. She internalized it. It was fine. All right, Jupiter's Legacy Requiem. If you have watched fully the Jupiter's Legacy run that is on the TV, then perfect. You'll understand everything that's going on. If you have never, you can enjoy this as its own thing, but it won't mean as much to you, not nearly as much, because this moves forward in time and even beyond. It shows that Lady Liberty and oh my gosh, what is the other character's name? The bad guy's son. Man,
Oh,
like I just got through watching the series. And
I
feel
did
so
too, and I was ready to help you with
yeah.
it as soon as you mentioned the character.
Is it? It's Sky Fox. I was like, it was something Fox. Lady Liberty and Sky Fox. They've gotten married
I was thinking Skyfire.
and had multiple kids. I mean, you find that out in the first page, so I'm not really spoiling things for you. But this kind of like lets you know what the state of the world is, what the bad guys have been up to. It's all about that interaction, because that's why Jupiter's Legacy was so awesome. It actually does go back and show you again them, showing up on the island, walking toward this spire and finding what was in there. I think I slept through that part because I can't remember in the show because I can't remember.
Why?
I remember them walking
It was
to
so
it.
good.
I know. I remember them walking to it, and then I blinked, and then there was something else happening, so I don't remember.
I'm so disappointed.
I know. I'll go back and watch it. When you're old and you're laying down on the couch, a feather down couch, it will totally suck
Especially
you down
how
into
much you work.
oblivion. Yeah.
Especially you. How much you work?
Only 65 hours a week. It's no big deal.
You think that's all?
That's what my husband told me, and I'm pretty sure he's counting pretty carefully.
Oh, feels like more. Better call HR on that one. It's just your own.
No. Max isn't HR.
It's HR.
Steven, my other son.
Yeah, but Max is HR.
Okay, fine. You should not let him be HR.
He's actually pretty good at it.
He's actually, yeah. He's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, here's how to fix it.
He's a very reasonable person. He'd
Yeah.
be good at being a mediator for sure.
It's great though.
You guys recording all of that, I hope, for...
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope you guys like ridiculous reality TV. Hopefully we'll get you some episodes soon.
Home,
Okay.
number 3. So, first issue is where we find out Juan and his mom are coming to America from Guatemala.
Mhm.
And at the end of the first issue, we find out that he has superpowers, which you can see his hands are glowing. And this is the third issue, so,
Not very spoily anymore.
right. So at the end of the second issue, we find out that his mom is getting sent back to Guatemala, but he is still on the run, and he finds his aunt at,
The one they were trying to
towards-
go legally and meet?
Yes, exactly. And they're able to get reconnected at the end of the second issue. And so in this issue, they're able to talk to his mom on the phone. And I was not expecting the plot twist that happened to happen
why are you Italian right now?
She's waiting for me to say something specific.
She's literally
Okay,
saying like this. I'm
I
expecting it.
loved the art and I loved everything I heard about it, but I have an issue, and we're gonna get to it in a minute.
Yes. Okay. So when we find out that the aunt lives in Houston, in this issue, we find out that they are closer to Huntsville because they find themselves in the
San Diego National Forest. Okay, I'm sorry. That's where I grew up. There's a little bitty town in the middle of the San Diego National Forest called New Waverly, and that's where I grew up. Okay, but the town was 10, the town was 19. That's where I was, and they have a scene that happens in that comic that I know for a fact would never happen.
Oh my goodness.
People don't go into that part of the forest for reasons.
For reasons.
Reasons. No, not just like reasons, but like reasons.
Oh my word.
Like Hannah, you need to mind this. It's not reasons.
It's not reasons.
It's
reasons.
Okay, reasons. And they decided to have a whole team of people there, and I'm like, yo, the reasons. I have issues.
I learned. Yeah.
Just so you guys know, it's all here real. Not made up. We don't plan this stuff.
Okay.
There are reasons.
So we had a comet. We had a comet here like a month ago that was set in Conroe. Yeah, we got a comet set in the Huntsvilles with the Sam Houston Forest. It's getting closer. This is going to be inside the store.
There's an X title this week that's also set in Huntsville. There is mention of Huntsville. All right, here we go. Berserker number 3 is where we're going to end up with. Hey, Elvis, I can't answer questions when I'm live. I don't have any idea. I can't read that far. My eyeglasses aren't that good. This is Berserker number 3. In this one, you get a lot more of the main character's early life and have a full grasp of his relationship with his father. And you really can see what damage was done emotionally to the main character in the process of his younger years, formative years. There's a question raised as to his parentage even. It's mostly that. It's mostly backstory for him. And then the last few pages bring you back to the present for his character, in which, it kind of like brings you back to the whole idea, like, okay, well, now I understand a little bit more about the character and the way he's dealing with stuff. So Berserker is amazing, co-written by Matt Kent and Keanu Reeves. It's already been announced as being in development, so kind of like it's easy to imagine Keanu in the main role, honestly.
Yeah.
I guess if you're writing for yourself, you know yourself pretty well and what your acting range is. It's perfect for him. And I can't wait to see him all beefed up, because we've never really seen Keanu beefed, right? We've seen him be like strong and wispy, but this character can't be strong and he's not a wispy character the way he's been drawn. So I'm super excited to see what they're going to do. They're going to have to like make this a rated whatever NC-17 for the amount of violence that it has, for sure. So that'll be interesting.
So you said this one was about learning like his parentage, and I instantly got this picture of like Samuel L. Jackson being like, "Who are your parents?" and him being like, "Oh, I don't know," like in his like voice. Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know. No, in this case,
like that.
He knows what he's been told for his parents. How's that?
Oh.
He knows that.
Oh my God.
All right, everybody. There are a lot more really great comics and trade paperbacks. Like they did a new print of Vote Loki, which is available.
Yes.
So that hasn't been available in so long.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's been watching Loki, you'll know it's an important thing. Also, as far as character tie-ins are, I believe The Heroes Reborn has a bunch of Mobius in it for you. So you can kind of like, you may not know who Mobius is. That's the dude that's interrogating Loki. So in the show, so now you know who that is. You can kind of like go, I know some things now, because we don't call him that in the show.
Right.
So
right.
We call him Owen.
Oh, call him Owen. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Minute to Skim It. I've been Miss Jen.
And I'm Hannah. I'm still Hannah.
And behind the scenes occasionally is
Jen! I hope you enjoyed the descent into madness because this happens every time.
All right.
And no, Mario, it is not scripted. That would be.
Most of the time, I'm standing around
You
back
would
here
write
working,
this.
and they say something, and I'm just like, reason.
It's really true. This is real honest, like me throwing it out there. Be a good friend and share the show so that other people can at least decide whether they like what the books that we like.
Right.
There are a gajillion shows out there, but we're giving you honest to goodness response to the books. We're not being like, we're not hype kids.
Right.
There's one or two I'll hype up though.
Well, I know, but only
will
because I
hype
love them.
I will hype up every book that I love, which
Exactly.
most of them I do.
All right, everybody, we're going to say adieu until next time. Thank you for watching us on the experience. Don't go anywhere, though. There's more programming coming up right after us. Enjoy these words from our sponsors.
Bye.